Hi everyone, how are we doing? I hope it's warmer and less grey than it is here. It's pretty miserable in Banbury this morning, so I'm going to try and cheer myself up by playing some Morley. This is La Torello, which is the turtle dove. So nice and gentle and very civilised, unlike the bagpipes we did recently. So this is in its original key, fits well on treble and tenor. We're going to look at the tenor parts. I'm going to start on a back bow and I'm going to start in half position. So I started on a back bow because I think this note is stronger than this one. The next one is also strong, so you're going to need to compensate a bit because it comes on a back bow, but this comes out nicely, stronger, weaker. And I started in half position because of the B flats, but then I put a 1 on the bottom G, so I could reach that octave nicely without having to go all the way to the top string. I left the bottom G with the bow a bit early, but it didn't take my finger off with my left hand. So there was a nice resonant note while my bow crossed over, missed a string out and found that top G. Shall we play it together from the top? 3, 4. Stop there a second. So firstly, a little bit of bowing. In bar 6, I put an extra back bow on the second minim of the bar because we finished the phrase with a weak note on the first beat of bar 6, and then I just carried on with another back because this note is stronger. Out nicely here. So start your phrase in bar 6 on the second minim on a back bow. Fingering wise, I think it's useful to be in half position because of the E flat, so you play the F with a 3 in the middle of 6. Look at all those opportunities for holding fingers down with your left hand. That C hasn't gone anywhere. Now, in bar 8, I'm starting to look ahead and see the top G coming. So I'm going to move and play the first crotchet G with a first finger back in first position. And then, having moved onto that string, I'm going to use a 3 for the A. And then I'm ready with my 4 at the end of the bar. So I've achieved 2 things in there. I've got myself into first position ready for the octave, but I've also not crossed the string for every note at the beginning of bar 8. So I was in half position, E flat in the middle of 7. I moved up to a 1. Then instead of crossing the string, I played that A with a 3. Hold the 1 down at the bottom, do not take this finger off. 4 at the top. Again, what a nice opportunity for holding that 3 down. Can you hear it as soon as I take it off? You get a squeak, that's not true. As opposed to leaving it down. That resonance just carries on all the way through those crotchets. Let's play that together from the second minim of, actually we'll go halfway through 5 because we'll get the strong, weak and another back bow. It's always good to practice the tucks, isn't it? So this is halfway through 5. You'll be right at the tip, I hope. 1, 2, 3, 4 and another back. Second. I started at the end of 10 with another forward bow. 2 reasons really. I think it's nice when you've got a theme that starts on an offbeat to hear it really clearly as being off the tactus. So 4, 1. And it's easier to get that on a forward bow, isn't it? So that was the end of 10. Put a 4 on the second crotchet of 11 just to save crossing the string for everything. Reach back for the B flat. And now we're in half position. Ready to play that E flat there. I considered tucking the bowing in here. So putting the second crotchet of 11 on another back bow would have brought the quavers out nicely. Would have brought that out the wrong way, and it would have meant we needed to retake here. So I decided against it. You could argue that either way. It would be quite nice to tuck at on the second crotchet of 12. It means you have to make another correction later. I decided life was too short and I just bowed it straight through. So from the end of 10, this comes out nicely. I bowed this backwards. I liked this. And now I'm at the tip to start the next bit. So I decided on balance that was a good idea. Shall we play together? From the end of 10. Forward bow, right at the tip. Very relaxed here, none of this. End of 10. 3 and 4. Gonna go on. Quite a lot to think about in there, isn't there? So this is halfway through 13, or towards the end of 13. We're on a forward bow. So all of our long notes come forward, all of our quavers come back. You just got to watch a little bit in here that you don't, several risks here. All of your forward bows are longer than your back bows. So there's a real risk of running out of bow, but there's also a risk that if you try and compensate for that too much, you'll end up with enormous quavers. It's just not very elegant, is it? So you've got to work out how far along the bow is it allowed to travel? How far can you go before you start buying yourself problems of being near the heel? So how much do you need to recover on the quaver? Do you need to get all the way back to the tip, or is it all right to move along a bit? And I would suggest that it doesn't matter if you progress along the bow a little bit during it, but also actually as it goes through, it's a rising sequence, isn't it, in pitch. So your quavers can get bigger as long as your dotted crotchets get correspondingly bigger as well, so the quavers don't stick out. And I'm going for, I think, a slight lift rather than a really smooth line. I think it's nice to have a little bit of definition in it, especially as in the top part you're out by a crotchet with each other. But it's a turtle dove, not a woodpecker, so let's not go for that. Let's go somewhere in between. Right at the tip, chordal fingering between the C and the F. So I've got 3 and 4. I've got 4 on this top G here, because I think it's nice to have all of that on one string. I put a 4 there as well. That's the D at the end of 15. We've had strong notes, weak resolution, I think. There, what bar is that? That's 18. I had a 2 on the G because of the F sharp beforehand, and I just brought my 1 up behind it to play the bottom D. Don't let it go while you make that octave leap, and stop that one. I think strong, weak resolution. In the bit at 17-ish, make lots of the dotted notes, the long ones, but then maybe throw away things at the end of the phrase, so you're not playing all the way through the bottom notes. Let's let some of those just disappear a bit, but make a lot of. So I'm favouring the long notes with more quality sound, and I'm prepared to just throw away a few of the ones that I think are less significant. So this is the middle of 13, in fact the end of 13, the last minim beat where the dotted crotchets start right at the tip. That's after 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strong, weak. There was another place in there that I used a 4 instead of an open string. This is the end of 16. We're in half position because of the B flat. And then I moved up and I played the F with a 2. C sharp with a 3. D with a 4. Before moving back again. Let's just do that section again. This is the end of 13. There's quite a lot to think about in there. And let's go for a rising dynamic as the pitch rises. 1, 2, 3, 4. So start at the end of 19 on a forward bow. For the same reason we start at the end of 10 on a forward bow, it's that off beat and just needs a bit of emphasis on it. This is a real dove moment, isn't it? A real cooing dove sound in the semitone. So make them as smooth as you can. There. Fat turtle turtle dove sitting on a branch. All of them starting on a back bow after the crotchet rests. Don't take your bottom finger off this one, even though there's a rest in between. I would leave your finger on it. Nice resonant rest. And I would play a 4 definitely here. Let's go together from the end of 19. Forward bow. 3, 4. Going on. So middle of 23, it's another offbeat entry. So forward bow to give it a little bit of emphasis. There's a few notes in here, crotchets, that need throwing away. So if this is the emphasised beginning of phrase, and lots of sound in the long notes, that one, you can just tickle. Plenty of sound in here, but nothing on that 4. Hold it down though, while you make the cross. Reach back for the B flat. Bring your 1 up behind the 2 to play the D at the end of 25. It's a very weak note, I think, isn't it? It's the end of this. So just tickle it. And that's another really weak crotchet in 26. Now, bowing wise, I was tempted to correct this and put a back bow so that that came out nicely. But then the next one comes out backwards, and so does the one after. So I decided that I would just bow straight through 26. And it means that the end of 26 comes out the wrong way round. It means you get an upbeat crotchet rather, on a forward bow. It's not ideal, but if you're conscious of it and you're just careful with it, make sure you put plenty of weight on the dotted crotchets. All your quavers are backwards, sorry. Hold the 4 at the top. Your quavers are now beautifully the right way round. And so are these. So I think it's worth that little bit of being backwards in the bowing at the end of 26. Fingering wise, I think it's reasonably obvious. 4 at the top of the scale in 27. Then make the octave leap, don't take the 4 off the top, but move back to half position and stay there until here. So creep up at the end of 28, so you can play a 4. You might play an open top, an open G at the beginning of 29 as a kind of triumphant arrival. I don't mind that at all, but having done it, get out of the way a bit for that one. So let's play a 4 for definite in the middle of 29. There's a lot in there, isn't there? Let's go together from 23, halfway through the bar. We said we would start this on a forward bow because it's an offbeat entry. 1, 2, 3. another offbeat one. And I'm sure you've spotted that 30 to the end is a direct repeat of what happened at 23. So everything you've written in from 23 up to 29 you can just copy and paste at the bottom of your page. So the whole thing then, from the top. Back bow, half position, really nice gluey semitones. I love semitones. Make as much of them as you can. Make them as sticky and as legato as possible. 3, 4, 1, 2. So I'll play you the treble part then, shall I? And we'll put the two together. So I've just got my treble out, and as you can possibly see, the top string is looking somewhat precarious. So wish me luck, and I'll see you at the end. And because I start, I don't need to count you in.